Hey guys, it's overcast today, just like I like it. Whenever I'm going to be out in the sun or on the beach, when you have an overcast day, the sun's not going to be as strong on you, excuse me. And I can appreciate that because when I go into the water, it might be a little colder, but it's just right for me, you know? And it's important when something is just right for you that you embrace it. You're thankful when God gives you all these different blessings, right? Let's get into it. Usually when you're in a relationship with another person, it takes balancing. The other person is learning you just as you are learning them. And while you are getting acquainted and getting to know each other's, highs and lows, you want to do more listening than talking. And trust me, that can be difficult at times because sometimes you just want to share so much. But you can't share as much with other people because sometimes when you share things, sometimes you share too much. And it's almost like what Steve Harvey said. You're giving the person you're giving them the playbook, and then they know how to play because they get to use what they feel, what you share for you, and they can also use it against you. And not like they're meaning to do it purposely. Sometimes they just want what they want, how they want it, and when they want it. So that's basically the person playing the cards into their own hands. But in a relationship, you are looking at both parties. It's not just one-sided. You're getting to know the person. You're getting to understand the person. A good thing, now I'm going to tell you the secret. I learned this a long time ago. You go on a cruise with somebody, you get to learn of them a lot faster. And I know that sounds crazy, but not. It's almost like you're seeing them in a home environment, but you get to view it firsthand because the camera's right directly on the person. You're on a cruise. You get to see if they're going to work with you or not so much. You get to see if they're really into you or not so much. You get to eat together. You get to see if they're greedy because you're on a cruise ship. You can order 3 of everything, in that one seating. And people do it. You can swim together, see how patient the person is. If they want to swim with you, if they would be the individual that might want to save your life if you can't swim so well. A person who's willing to teach you, a person that's willing to get to know you and enjoy your highs and your lows. The person who has staying space. Staying space, meaning, are they going to walk out when you really need them, or are they going to be there? Are they going to be the individual who's going to be willing to really listen in and be supportive when you have a problem? I was dating this guy years ago, and I was planning on moving out of the state, everything. I was going to do the whole thing. And in the middle of everything, a short little trip to the airport opened up the door to so many answers. Although my mother told me already that he had to make a bigger choice than I did. It helped me to understand. I think it made it easier on him as well. Because sometimes when we're in a relationship and we're having different issues going on, you probably feel like, let me leave first because I don't want the person to hurt me. But it doesn't hurt any less when you walk out the door too, depending on the circumstances. Sometimes it's easier because you'd rather not be hurt. It's stronger, should I say, at the forefront. But you just never know. There's so many things going on. And it really is an excellent thing when you can get to know a person as their friend first. Because while you're getting to know the person, they're getting to know you. It's a relaxed thing. You're not rushing. So many people rushing to get to the wedding cake. And the problem is that you spent so much money, you rush in to get there. And then when the wedding is over, the party is over for some people. There were 3 women who came together, and they were all planning their weddings. They're good friends. They went to college together. They went through dating experiences together, and now everyone was getting married. You think this is the finish line. Because whenever you see these movies, all you see is the wedding. You don't really see anything after the wedding. So basically the wedding is all you know. Well, they thought they knew their mates well enough beautiful thing. However, it became a competition between the different couples. Mostly motivated by the women because they didn't want to be outdone by the other one. And they were all watching these wedding shows and getting ideas. And, it was really looking pretty nice. But they did have one girlfriend in particular who seemed to always want to argue about certain things and trying to push or motivate people to do things that she felt was right. And after a while, they had to stop sharing so many ideas. It is important that you keep some things to yourself. You need to practice that before you even start dating to get married. Because that's the problem. Sometimes we share too much. The girlfriend gets jealous, and you don't even know the person is jealous. Because they're putting on a facade. They're putting on a different face. So, these ladies growing together, trying to get things together. One of the girls continued to complain about her sister. And the other two were very kind of envious. They said, "Oh man, she got a big sister. Her big sister goes all out of her way to do things for her. She don't even appreciate it." She was showing her own hand. So, as it progressed, everybody got married one by one. But that same one who was so argumentative was so judgmental about everybody's stuff. And nobody could really say anything to her. So as they branched out, everybody's married, everybody's happy, doing their little honeymoon thing. One girl, her husband, because now they're married, started having health issues. And the other one of them was also having back issues. But the one that was having the back issues, and he was having heart issues as well, it weren't as serious as this one. Now, it looked as though he was pulling himself out. But the wife decided she was going to share the story with the best friend. Or so she thought. The more she shared, the more the girlfriend started to get more jealous. She was unhappy in her relationship because she kind of felt like she married someone who was kind of boring. He didn't really do the same things, but he did support her. When she complained and spoke about her sister, he supported her, what have you. But deep down inside, he knew the truth. There was a lot of jealousy, and that older sister really was trying to help her. He didn't understand why she was wanted to fight her big sister so much. The jealousy, that green-eyed monster, always showed up. So these two ladies, three ladies started getting together a little bit more often. But as they got together again, that one girlfriend always wanted to share stories. She always wanted to know what was going on with the other two couples. So as she realized and found out more information about this one young lady, she found out that the husband was sick. She said, let me work on this one. I mean, he's sick already, and if I sacrifice him, I could have more strength in order to defeat my sister. So she decided she was going to do dark arts on the husband. And the husband was preparing his wife because he knew that the end was facing, him. However, the doctor said that he was doing good. But because she shared too much with this girlfriend, and this girlfriend was so jealous, she decided to do the dark arts, practice these dark arts on the husband. And then the husband passed away. Girlfriend was feeling kind of bad when she went to help her, but she knew she did the right thing because she was tired of hearing all these good things, and she wasn't as happy as she was, Something how a green-eyed monster shows his face sometimes. You never know how far it'll go. Most people don't even believe that this is even possible, that someone can do dark arts on someone else and unalive them. Some people don't realize you put somebody's name in the freezer. The same thing that this one was doing. Putting the man's name on ice. Saying different things over his name. Very, very, very difficult for people to know that their own friends would defy them, deceive them like this. So the wife decided that she was going to start all over again. She knew that her husband was with her in spirit, but she missed him so much, but she needed to start over, start fresh. Because she didn't want to be in the same environment, but his face was being reminded, his his presence being reminded of what once was. And she loved him more than she loved anybody she'd ever experienced life with. And this was her best friend, and she had to start all over. So she moved away. And as she moved away, the jealous friend became even more jealous. She was like, man, she's still doing it. She's still doing good. And he left her money, you know. But she left that one alone, and she started going on to other people. Other people who share information to her ended up finding themselves at a disadvantage. See, they didn't know that she was doing things, spell work behind their backs. You know, this is why you have to be mindful. Although people can show us a really nice face, smiling faces, you know that song, smiling faces tell lies, they don't tell the truth. So it's really something, and it's really important that you guys keep these things in mind, because there's so many things going on and you don't realize that the people you think are working in your favor are really not working in your favor at all. So long as you know that, you can be friendly with whomever you choose to. Just be mindful of how much information you're sharing, because people use things against you and you don't even realize it. You have no idea. And although this person should not be jealous or envious of anyone when they have their own life to live, but a lot of people do this. They forget about what God has blessed them with, and they focus solely on what another person has, that green-eyed monster, and they ruin themselves. Because in the whole outcome, when it's all done and said, what ends up happening is God did not forget those acts that you committed. God does not forget the crimes you commit. Because what happens is, he might forgive you, but he's still wanting you to learn the lesson so that you don't repeat the same karmic experiences. Okay? Now, it's really unfortunate that this young lady, beautiful young lady's husband had to pass over. And it's unfortunate that her best friend, or so she thought was her best friend, would do dark work on him to make him leave the earth cycle. But again, God sees all, and the future looks much brighter for her now, because her husband is still with her in spirit, and he's going to guide and help her to move forward in the right direction. All right, that's been my word, and it is lovely being you when you're making the right choices and you're not trying to hurt others, but being supportive of them growing through the problem. Have a wonderful one. Thank you.